Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Nicole Xavier, and I'm here with a very, very talented director named Kyle. Kyle, can you tell me your whole last name so I don't butcher that up?
Kyle Hausmann-Stokes.
Okay, and you are the director of My Dead Friend Zoe. Now, I just saw the film. I was completely in tears and moved by it by the end of it. I just want to say you did a magnificent job. So, I You have such a beautiful resume. You were in the service, and I want to know, and I would like for you to walk me through that process, that transition. I mean, my goodness, you came from the service and now you're in Hollywood. Like, where did that perspective come from?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's a long story, but the short, which is, I think, online and stuff like that, but the short version is I kind of am here because I was on a mission from my colonel. While I was in the army, I was making
Mhm,
videos, even though I wasn't supposed to, jumping out of airplanes, doing these tank missions, and
mhm.
when it was time for us to go to war, he actually made an exception for me to actually go to film school instead. And he said, your mission is to tell the soldier's story. So I had been on that mission ever since, and it's like the same week that I was about to start film school, 2 years after that, I actually got recalled to come back into the military, which is like another long story. But I deployed to Iraq for a year then. I came home. The friendships that I made with my platoon mates over there is kind of what this film is about, and I've just been on that mission ever since to tell the soldier's story. And I always knew I wanted to do it in a Hollywood setting because, stories are the most powerful things on the planet, and movies in particular kind of transcend. So I wanted to tell our story, but I wanted to do it in a big way.
Wow, it's very beautiful, Kyle. And based on my research, you earned a bronze medal, and I'm very curious. So, what did you have to do to earn that?
Yeah, it's called the Bronze Star, the Bronze Star, and it's one of the highest awards in the Army. And mine was a cumulative award, so I have the award here somewhere, but it was for yeah, it was for meritorious service, in during combat in Operation Iraqi Freedom. So I was a convoy commander in Iraq, so I was a staff sergeant. I was in charge of, 15 to 30 soldiers, 4 gun trucks, and we would have to be security for convoys every day to every city in Iraq, Baghdad, Fallujah, Mosul, and yeah, it was a lot. It was like a road trip from hell, but yeah, so at the end of your service, specifically kind of like for the leaders, sometimes they will award a Bronze Star, and I was very fortunate.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Well, thank you for your service. And I think you're doing such amazing work. And with my dead friend Zoe, I hope that there's more to come after this. And with that being said, I couldn't help but relate to the Ed Harris character because I felt that I was looking at my uncle who served during the Vietnam era. So I thought that was beautiful to witness and have that depict so beautifully. And Ed being the one to do it was just flawless execution. Now, I spoke to my uncle that I was prior to this interview that I was going to meet with you, and he wanted me to ask you a direct question on when he first went into the service, his perspective on the military changed. Now he wants to know what perspective has your perspective changed since entering and exiting the military?
That's a great question. Thank you for even talking to your uncle about that, and that's high
Yeah.
praise to hear that it resonated with you. Because yes, that Ed Harris plays my grandfather. He's a real person. Those conversations are transcribed from real life. And to answer your uncle's question, yeah, 100%. Before you join the military, it's just this idea. It's a thing you see in movies. I mean, I think I watched Platoon and Saving Private Ryan and Hamburger Hill and all these, Jarhead and things like that. So you have this idea of it. I think especially as young men, which we tend to be so stupid and just like, want to
He
do.
agrees.
Yeah, yeah, that it's because it's so cool. And this idea of glory and bravery and sacrifice. And and that changes when it's real. Real life is something different.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't have I don't have any regrets because I think it's actually a privilege to, even though I don't agree with the wars that we've fought in, but that's also like a very complicated question. Most people don't know all of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and so it really is. It sounds cliche, but it's about the battle buddy to your left and to your right, and maybe I had my eyes opened pretty wide after specifically serving in a war situation. But it hasn't changed my perspective on the men and women that serve in uniform. And I also I still believe in our country, and I still believe that at our core we are trying to do good, and our military is trying to do good. And of course, things get complicated, but that hasn't my perspective on that hasn't changed. I think at our core we're a work in progress. This country is a project. Our military and the things we do, those are all projects. And sometimes you get them right, a lot of times you don't. And we have a tough job. We have a really tough job. So
Absolutely. Well, I think that you did so well with the film. I think that emotional sides and emotion aside, you really had a very clear vision, but I know you had a team behind you. And that being said, one of your executive producers is Super Bowl champion and MVP, Travis Kelce. So can you tell me more about Travis and what in terms of his contribution to that executive producer role? What did he bring to the film? Did he get that connection to Ed Harris? I mean, what's going on with Travis?
yeah, Travis came on through one of our producers named Ray Maiello. Had a connection to Travis's team and made them aware of the fact that this film was happening. This was actually kind of very close to production.
Mhm.
And so I believe my proof of concept short film and maybe the deck and the script had made its way to Travis. This is before the film was even being shot. We had our cast, we had Ed and Sonequa and Natalie and Morgan at that point. And basically, in a nutshell, Travis is just very supportive of the military and veterans. And
But what does that support necessarily mean? Did he bring in the funding? Did he bring in the talent? Like, what other things did he bring into the film?
Travis was an investor in the film, and then lent his
Beautiful.
name as an executive producer to the film.
Beautiful. I'm very happy to hear that Travis is venturing into things outside of football. And a few more questions before we wrap this up, Kyle. Now, what's next for you? What is the next film? Tell me everything. Are you drafting something up? Is something in production?
Yeah, I love that question too. I have a couple of different things, and I guess we'll wait to see which one goes. But I have written a script with my co-writer from Dead Friend Zoe. Her name is AJ Bermudez. So we've already written the next one. It's called Men's Group. It is a dark comedy. It's about adult male friendship and how men suck at that, and about male loneliness, but again through a lens of levity. And it's about a guy who's in a tough place who accidentally starts a men's group, like a men's support group, friendship group, and it kind of totally gets out of hand. So there's that. And then on a kind of a larger scale, I can't say a ton about it, but I'm working on a sports film about some brothers. So
Wonderful. And last question to wrap this up. What is your vision post my dead friend Zoe? What is the vision after all this? What do you want to see in the world?
I hope that this film will start conversations for people who see the film with the veterans in their lives. Everybody knows a vet, your uncle, people have friends that are vets, but I think sometimes people aren't quite sure how to ask them about their service or to talk about it. And I hope that this film destigmatizes that. I think it allows everybody to laugh a little bit, to loosen up a little bit, to tell funny stories, to tell sad and serious stories, but just like the message of the film, just to talk about it.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Kyle, for speaking with me. I appreciate you so much, and congratulations to you and your whole team.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you.
Thank you.